Hey guys, Quiv the Lazy Geek here and welcome back to the channel. Recently on the channel I published my ultimate guide to PixInsight that leads you all of the steps on how to install PixInsight and process your images for maximum effectiveness while being as lazy as possible. And it got me thinking, okay, but what about my own old pictures? How much better would it be now if I applied my own new workflows together with those amazing new scripts that we are getting? And how effective would that be compared to the processing that I had achieved at the time? And yes, that's a very good idea, and I'm going to do that on two broadband images that I had captured with a Rokinon 135mm lens together with a ZWASI 294MC Pro. And I had actually taken my setup to the outskirts of Tokyo both times. One time to the mountains of Okutama on the western edge of Tokyo Prefecture, the other time to the island of Oshima, which is to the south of Tokyo. And I wasn't very happy with the results that I had gotten, so I want to try to process them again and compare what we get with my own kind of on-rails process with the new AI-powered tools that are available to us, and then look at what I had before that, before all of that cool stuff came to the scene. That way we can estimate how much better the tech has become in terms of processing compared to what it was just 5-6 years ago, actually. So just 5-6 years ago that I took those images. So on my screen right now, I have an image of Ro Ophiuchi. The image on the left is the result of the integration. You can see it is in a linear state. And the image on the right is I have my processing of that image at the time. Now, the conditions that the image was taken were very bad. I had actually taken my setup to the island of Izu Oshima, and unfortunately I had forgotten the dew heater for my lens, which means that after 8 minutes it clouded up and I was no longer able to take images. And so what I got here is the results of a total of 8 minutes of imaging, if I recall correctly. And on the right is the processing that I was able to achieve at the time, which from afar looks pretty nice. If we do zoom in, the stars are really funky and there's a weird pattern going on there. This is actually because I had used at the time Topaz Denoise to try to get rid of a lot of that noise. But this time around, we have more powerful tools available. So let's see what difference we can get. I'm gonna iconize this for that, so I'm not too influenced by it. And also this is going to be a test of how my own sensitivities and likes for images, what I like in a processed image are, how they've changed over the years. It's going to be very interesting. And I will be following the steps of my PixInsight tutorial. I'm going to start with Graxpert for background extraction. So, pop, let's apply it to the image. And this is the result. We can now see a little better what is going on. And indeed, if I zoom in, you can see there is an insane amount of noise in this image. And so it kind of, it is what it is type of deal. But maybe our new tools will help us. The colors aren't really great yet, so now I'm going to still follow my own tutorial and do some spectrophotometric color calibration. For that, I first need to solve the image. So let's go to Script, Image Analysis, Image Solver. And here I'm going to set, so the coordinates are actually taken from the image. This is fine, and the pixel size apparently was registered as well, together with the focal distance. So all of this is correct. I'm just going to click on OK to basically plate solve the image so PixInsight knows which star is which is very important for spectrophotometric color calibration. And while we're waiting, you should try also this exercise at home. This is very much an activity where please do try this at home. Is the disclaimer that I would give, because if you have any old astrophotography, especially raw frames still, you should stack them with your new techniques. You should take the master frame and process it again, see what you get, and I'm sure you will be surprised. Okay, the spectrophotometric color calibration is done. I'm going to do a shift click on the stretch function to see what we get, and it does look indeed quite good. My next step, because it is so noisy, normally I would probably do blur exterminator at this stage, but because it is so noisy, I'm not sure how much detail I can get from the nebulosity. I'm kind of worried about increasing the noise, and so instead I will first do denoising. And denoising, I've actually been a big fan recently of Graxpert denoise with the latest version of the AI model 3.0.2. It takes forever to process an image, but the result is absolutely incredible. So let me apply that to the image. Although we're still on Rails, we're still basically following the quick process. And we have the result here. I'm going to zoom in because it's absolutely insane the difference that we have in before and after. It's not even, how does it do that? It's completely insane, the effectiveness of the denoising algorithm. But okay, let me keep going. My next step now is blur exterminator. So we just switched the little switcheroos in the order of steps there. So blur exterminator, yeah, I can maybe sharpen the star by 0.4 and boop, apply to the image. And with blur exterminator, this is the before and the after. The star field is much more beautiful like that, and we can see the nebula much better than before. I really like this. Now we are ready to stretch the image. I could use the script from OLD Astro to do that, as usual, like under script, OLD Astro, and then statistical stretch. But I also have a process from Bill Blanchard that can do that I can just drag and drop onto the image. Now it is stretched. I'm going to remove the screen transfer function, and yeah, this looks pretty good. So now we can process this image, and the first step, just like in my tutorial, I will be removing the stars. So star exterminator, generate star image, unscreen star, apply. And here we go, we have the stars removed from the image. We'll place them back later, so I'm going to iconize that, put this somewhere here. And yeah, this is what we are getting for now. So let me open up my curves transformation because I do like curves. You guys know me, I love curves. And I love to transform those curves to shape them as I see fit. So let me do this. So we're gonna increase the contrast by dragging down the black tones basically, and then we can play with the curves in the bright areas of the image. I like what I'm seeing, and reveal a lot of the nebulosity there from the object. And this is, curves is really to taste kind of stuff. And so maybe I'm being a little bit too aggressive there, but I like to reveal all of that nebulosity that we have in the image, while at the same time increasing like the brightness at the core of the nebula that we have here. Ooh, this is delicious. This looks absolutely delicious. Okay, so let's apply this to the image. Curves is always, in my opinion, the most difficult part of the processing, because it is very difficult to repeat exactly what you've done last time if you were to reprocess the image from scratch. So it's always depending on like your mood for the day, really. And also a lot on the monitor that you have on your PC and how it presents the image to you. So I'm doing a second round of curves. I kind of like what I'm seeing here, and I'm going to apply that. Then I can reset and then play with the saturation. Here, because we have nebulosity basically across the image, I'm not going to bother to separate the background. I'm just going to saturate everything at once. Also, I'm just being lazy. If you follow my tutorial, you'll see I'll be taking a mask, applying the mask, inverting the mask, doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, we're not going to do that today. We're just having fun here. And a second layer, maybe of saturation. See what we get. Yep, this looks pretty nice. I like what I'm seeing here. And maybe I'm going to do a quick SCNR to remove some of the green tint that we have on the image, just to see what happens. Yep, I like this. This looks cool. This looks neat. And maybe some noise exterminator. We did Graxpert denoise earlier, but maybe noise exterminator has different ideas. So I want to try to apply it to the image, just to see what happens. And we actually do see a difference. So yeah, why not use the power of both Graxpert and noise exterminator to denoise the image. And now that I have this, maybe I can try adding back the stars, see what we get. I mean, you can see I'm being very, very, very fast with this. So I'm going to use utilities image blend. In my tutorials, I used pixel mask for that, but then I learned that image blend, the script, can be used as well. So I'm going to use row of Fuji, and the blend mode will be screen here. So we have the stars on one side, Rho Fiucci on the other side, and then we blend everything, and I'm going to apply this. This looks beautiful. I love what I'm seeing here. And what do we want to do? Maybe we can reduce the stars a tiny bit to make them less distracting from the nebulosity. So utilities, and again, it's exactly as per my tutorial, star reduction. We have the image with the stars, and then the starless view is this, and we can reduce the stars and validate and see what we get. Here we go, we are done, and this would be more or less our final image. Obviously, this was like a 5-minute processing. I also see a little bit of a gradient on the left-hand side, so let's say I'm going to dynamic crop this out. Boop. That way we can have like a nice cropped image with just what we want to have. Up, something like this. There we go. And let's call this our final image with the new processing tools that are available to us. So how does it look in comparison to my initial processing? So it's both a judgment of the processing tools, but also of my own tastes as I've grown into the hobby. And yeah, it seems my tastes were about like lots of brightness and colors in the past. I might have gone overboard in the past, and I personally much prefer my new version, which is softer while at the same time achieving better contrast between the dust lanes and the background and everything. I don't know, it's so much more ghostly and evocative, I believe, on the left-hand side. But is that just me and my mood, or is it something else? I can't say. Let's zoom in into the core of things. Let's look at the difference between the two. And yeah, I mean, come on, it's not even similar at all. I think the new image shows the true power of those new processing tools that we have. It is insane, like in terms of noise, in terms of colors, in terms of details. It's so much more beautiful in the new image. And there you go. I hope I'm making you like want to process your images once again. I mean, look at the difference. It's wow. Okay, that's for the first image. Now we can go to the second image, which is a wide field image of the Orion Nebula. Before we go there, don't forget that if you want to support the channel, you can like the video if you found it useful. Leave a comment. Have you tried reprocessing your old images, or will you try to do so after watching my video? Let us know down in the comments what were the results. If you have any questions for me, anything at all, you can ask down in the comments. I read pretty much every comment and I reply to a lot of them, although it does take a lot of time. And if you want to support the channel even more and you're planning on buying anything from Amazon, Agena, High Point Scientific, etc., if you do so after clicking the links that I have down in the description, it will help me out at no cost to you. And if you want to sponsor this channel more directly, you can join my channel as a member. That's the join button next to the subscribe button, which you should click if you're new to the channel, in which case welcome. You can also become a Patreon supporter using the Patreon link down in the description. You guys, you literally sponsor this channel. This channel would not be possible without you. So as always, thank you so much for your generosity. Okay, with that out of the way, let's keep going onto the Orion Nebula. Just like before, the image on the left is the raw image. You can see that it is indeed linear, and the image on the right is the result with my processing. And this was again with the Samyang lens with the 294 sensor. I don't believe I used Topaz Denoise at the time. It's probably an older image. And you can see I had some issues with tilt in my imaging train. But it is what it is. And I was actually very happy with this processing at the time. Let's see what I can achieve. Again, I don't want to be influenced by my past self, so I am going to iconize this, and we're going to work on this image first. So let's start with Graxpert, just exactly the same flow as before. So background extraction. We can follow that up with some image solving with the image solver. We have the correct parameters by default. Click on OK, yes. and we're going to solve the image so PixInsight knows which star is which, so we can then do the proper color balance with spectrophotometric color calibration. And we are done. So as I was mentioning, SPCC, spectrophotometric color calibration, just with, oh yeah, I should have done that with the last image as well, but I'm too lazy. I should set a region of interest, but yeah, whatever, too lazy. Forgive me, please. And just run it and see what happens. Okay, the spectrophotometric color calibration is done. Let's do a linked stretch on the image. The colors look okay. And now, just like before, we do have a lot of noise. So before doing the blur exterminator, I am going to do Graxpert denoise. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering how long I took exposures for this image, I took 30 minutes total exposures. The problem this time was not dew, because I had a dew heater at the time. It was that the road that I was on a parking spot next to the road gets closed every night at a certain time. This is to avoid the bike gangs that roam the mountains in the night, and so they completely close the road. And there's this guy that came and says like, hey, we're closing the road, are you here for the night? No, I have work tomorrow. So unfortunately I had to leave after only 30 minutes. There's always something, always. Anyway, Graxpert denoise. Okay, applying it, and let's wait for it to be done. And we are done with the denoising. And again, it's an incredible job that Graxpert is doing. Absolutely amazing. And so next step, blur exterminator. And wow, what a difference it makes. This is the before and the after. And now we are ready to stretch. And I will use the linked stretch from Bill Blanchard. Again, you'd get very similar result with the OLD Astro script, but I'm too lazy and I like drag and dropping things. And now, without any further screen transfer function, this is the result that we get. Just like last time, let's remove the stars. Star exterminator, bop. And here we are, we have the stars removed. There's a bit of nebulosity that got executed as well. You know what, I'm too lazy to care right now, so we're gonna say it's gonna be fine. We've removed the stars, this is what we're left with. The core of M42 is kind of overbright, so I am going to go to HDR multi-scale transform. Just like in the video, default settings, I don't really care. There are better ways to do it, but whatever. And here we go. The core of the nebula is now much more visible. We have much more information available to us. And we also have massive halos because, of course, the sky was hazy as well when I was taking this image. There's always something. I almost feel like I should be doing like a more aggressive Graxpert background removal, but yeah, whatever, we're fine. We're in a hurry here. So let's do curves transformation, reset everything, and we'll do exactly as we always do. So I'm going to lower a little bit the dark areas and then try to get a bit more of that nebulosity out. See if we can also get the areas around the main nebulosity to be a bit brighter so we don't, you know, kind of forget about them. And this looks okay. This is the before and after. I like what I'm seeing, so I'm going to apply this. And we can reset and try again, see if there's more that should be done with smaller adjustments. We are adding a bit more contrast like this with very tiny changes on the curve, and we're going to do that. We can see that the image is still noisy. I'm probably going a bit too far due to the noise that we have there, but whatever, let's see what we can get. I'm probably pushing it too much. I'm a bit worried that we're gonna not be able to beat my initial processing, at least with my in a hurry processing there. So let's do some noise exterminator. Just like before, we've already, you know, profited from Graxpert denoise. Let's try to profit from noise exterminator, see if it does anything. This time, not much. So I'm just not going to do it. We're gonna go ahead and place back the stars. No, I'm going to do some curves again for saturation. Curves transformation, reset everything, do some saturation, and validate that. We can even apply it twice, I just did, and now we can place back the stars. So script, utilities, image blend, and we want to add this one with the stars from this one. No, wait, is that it? Is that right? Yes, that is correct. And then we validate this. It looks pretty good. We managed to get a lot of the nebulosity, and I don't want to reduce the stars too much because then they would reveal the noise that we had in the corner there. I also see some little green noise there. So let's do a quick SCNR. Remove the green noise. This looks much better. And reduce the stars. Again, the usual stuff. Script, utilities, star reduction. Let's try it with the default settings. No. Image blend 2, and the starless image is this guy here, and maybe moderate. There we go. And validate. Okie dokie. And this is what we are getting as our final results. So let me open that up a bit more so we hide all of the intermediary processing steps. And again, I really like what I'm seeing. I think I was a bit too aggressive, but for a 5-minute work of reprocessing, it's pretty good. And let's compare it to the initial process. So again, we can see that my optics on images has changed. It seems that I do like, I don't know, there's a more contrast in the left image. It's been pushed further. And at the same time, I don't know, it looks like the colors on the right image of my initial process are a bit more pleasant to the eye. I'm not sure. The right image, my initial process is a bit more dreamy in a way, but my left image definitely has more details and is, I would say, punchier. And there's a bit gradient left. I need to crop things out. I can probably do better, but still, it gives me an idea of like how much different result I can get with the same image years apart. Like from this to this, and it's a completely different philosophy. And yeah, that's pretty much the result that we get. What are your thoughts on this? Are you going to be reprocessing your images? Again, leave us a comment to let us know. And if you have any questions, remarks, etc., again, in the comments. You can like the video while you're at it. It truly helps the channel out. If you want to help out even more and you're planning on buying anything from Agena, Highpoint, Amazon, etc., do so after clicking the links in the description. It will help me out. Otherwise, you can join the channel as a member using the join button, or as a Patreon using the link in the description if you want to sponsor the channel directly. But I hope that was useful and inspiring you to waste more time on processing, although it's not a lot of time, because if you follow the tutorial, you're on rails, and to see how much you have evolved over the years. With that, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, whenever you can, to look up at the stars, and I'll see you next time.